Luke Wilson has really inspired us to use the word electric a lot on this show. What an electric Sunday nighter between the Packers and Cowboys, which ended in the first 40-40 tie in NFL history, second highest scoring tie in NFL history, and the Cowboys' first tie since 1969. For more reaction, we are joined at Jerry World by Farhan Lalji. Great to see you, buddy. What a finish. First of all eyes on Micah Parsons as he makes his first return to Dallas since being traded to Green Bay. How would you assess Parsons' performance on Sunday night?
Yeah, Jay, I think it's basically two different performances as far as I'm concerned. During regulation, the first 60 minutes, I thought Parsons was relatively quiet. You know, when you look at what Dallas did to try to deal with him, they tried a number of different concepts. Sometimes they ran at him. Sometimes they ran away from him. Sometimes they double-teamed him. They bootlegged away from him. They moved the pocket around. They did so many different things. Then in overtime, he almost took this game over. You know, there was a play on a third down where they wind up throwing on the left side to Pickens, and you can look at Dak here. He's pointing to Micah Parsons. He's changing the protection a couple of times. They had a substitute left tackle in the game at that point. He wanted to make sure that they had him dealt with before they got the ball out to Pickens for what proved to be a fairly big completion. Then later in the red zone, Parsons comes from the opposite side of the field. He winds up tackling Dak Prescott. They call this a sack. This wasn't a sack. This was a 1-yard gain. Nonetheless, though, you're more than 60 minutes in the game. They managed a snap count during regulation, but he's still there. Now here, again, third down, and he forces a throwaway here because of his pressure. So when you look at Parsons, again, quiet for the first 60 minutes, but once it got to overtime, I think he was a big factor in this game.
And then Dak Prescott himself had a terrific game, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. How much credit for Dak's performance should go to that Dallas offensive line?
Yeah, I think it should. And I mentioned they were without Booker. They were without Beebe, two of their better starters. And then during the game, they lost Guyton to a concussion. So, you know, you're looking at 3 different guys you've got to go into the game with and at critical times in the game. And really, after the first quarter, it looked to me like Dak Prescott was comfortable. He had a lot of time, even on deeper concepts. He got pressured here. That was kind of the one in the first half that Parsons was involved. But overall, I mean, even that one he completed as this game progressed, it just seemed that Dak got more and more comfortable. This is a defense that has given up 3.7 yards per play. That's a historically low number. Dallas came up with 6.5 yards per play. They had a 12-play drive. They had an 11-point drive. They forced turnovers and had some additional drives. Here's the quarterback draw with Dak at a key time in the game. So, you know, nobody does this to Green Bay's defense. Dallas found a way to do it, and Dak Prescott got more comfortable as the game progressed.
One of the things Jerry Jones said after the Micah Parsons trade was that this trade actually improves Dallas's defense against the run. After watching that game at Jerry World on Sunday night, Farhan, would you agree or disagree with the owner of the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree at all, because when you look at what Green Bay did, they went after the inside of that run game. You know, Clark, the player that was acquired in the trade, was really a non-factor in this game, and they went, you know, they ran the ball 35 times, and 21 of those were between the tackles. So they weren't afraid to run inside, where theoretically Dallas had some reinforcements on these big touchdowns to Jacobs. He was able to go inside there, you know, and this is how Green Bay is comfortable. I mean, they're good when you got to put the ball in Jordan Love's hands. They're good when you got to put the ball in Josh Jacobs' hands, when it's Wilson. Even in overtime, Matthew Golden involved in the reverse game and the jet sweep game. It was all there for them. So 35 carries that allowed them to control time of possession. So I don't think they're appreciably better. The fact that they've given up 40 points in this game, well, they've been giving up over 30 points all season. Their defense didn't look the part at all, but their offense absolutely came to play and almost pulled this one out.
Farhan Lalji from Jerry World in the first 40-40 tie in National Football League history. Thanks for this, Farhan.